Second build around submission today is green-white ramp. The submission was let's ramp into Milady Elesh Norn here. And I actually think something that's really interesting about this current format is the Velocimist deck is one of the premier combo decks in this format. And I've talked about how I like that deck because you can interact with it in a lot of different ways. And one of the many ways you can interact with it is just by getting into combat. So all of our top end tier almost, Baneslayer, Lyra, Elder Gargaroth, all of these mean Velocimist can't attack in because they beat him in combat. And Elesh Norn making Velocimist a 3/3 means it can't cast Time or Mizzix Mastery out of your deck because it only has 3 power. So like we've got this kind of neat top end we're ramping into in the creature matchups, but it's also cards that are good in the combo matchup. And then for the control part of the field, I've just jammed 4 Shifty Boys here into the main deck to just like ram down Gandalf's throat. And in a pinch, this can gain reach and block Velocimist and trade in that combo matchup. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how this ramp 4 feels. The top end threats that we're heading up into seem like they're pretty reasonably positioned to the format as a whole. I'm excited to see how this plays out. Very Primate, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. Is Shalai a card you consider as she protects you and your other permanents? I'd rather just play another good card. Rather than playing a bad card like Shalai to make my good cards better, why not just play an additional individually good card? Alright, Mistman was playing an all counterspells deck earlier, so the double Shifting Ceratops starter is probably pretty good. BTY, thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate the prime. Welcome back. Heroic Intervention is a bad magic card and a trap. Heroic Intervention is a card that, generally speaking, you can't afford to have mana to hold up against control decks where you want that style of effect. One real downside to hitting Mythic as early as we hit Mythic is that there's a good chance we're going to start getting a lot more repeat matches now. So from a content perspective, getting Mythic this early might be a punt. We'll see. Yeah, game 1 Shifty Ceratops, come at me. See, chat, this is why you want to be proactive in formats like this. I think the opponent's deck is probably absurd into a bunch of different counterspell deck or in a bunch of different Jeskai decks, but like then you run into the idiot on the ladder who's playing main deck Shifting Ceratops, and you're just like, why? Why would you have main deck Shifting Ceratops against my metagame deck? Shifty boy up in your base. Throwing rocks and punching face. Oh, yeah. Sinister Sabotage resolved. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You love to see it, chat. You love to see it. I almost put a Carnage Tyrant in my sideboard, but I decided Questing Beast was better against Jeskai control. But now that we've queued into this, I kinda regret not having the cheeky Carnage Tyrant. I have small regrets that there is no cheeky Carnage Tyrant. Alright, so the opponent's deck is a Night Pack Ambusher deck. So I think I want ways to take that off the table. So we're going to bring in Deckenstone and Conqueror's Death. Actually, Baneslayer and these Questing Beasts might be fine too. I think we want to take our curve and drag it down. Arboreal Grazer is kind of an individually weak card. We don't really want to be racing in this matchup. We want to play for a little bit longer game a lot of the time, so I'm going to trim those. I think Elesh Norn probably comes out here too, huh? I guess she catches us up against the wolf pack. Nah, she just gets like Brazen Borrowed, right? That's probably not good. Thanks for the follow, Aldo and Wicked. I mean, yeah, public Twitch chats are a dumpster fire. And they like to do things like give away information. Good morning, Ansop. It's one of the many reasons why we use sub mode here. Where do you stand on the debate that was happening on Twitter this week regarding the Mystic Archives and banning them all? I mean, who had an opinion that fucking stupid? Let's ban them all. Man, Magic players suck, chat. Let's ban all the archives. What a man, it was Matt Sperling. Man, dude, you can't make it up. It's so great that I said who had an opinion that stupid, and then of course it was Matt Sperling. God bless us, everyone. Yeah, the idea that they're all problematic and we have to get rid of everything is it's just so lazy and stupid to say. It's just the blunt way to put it. It's like the people that give the lazy low IQ takes where they're like, all Phyrexian mana is bad and should go away. And it's like, well, I get it. Like, Mental Misstep's a messed up card, and Gitaxian Probe shouldn't have existed. But, like, to say they're all bad is very not. Yeah, it's very old man yells at the cloud vibes. It's very, what do you mean this gets cards going backwards? In my day, Magic formats only got new added to them. And cards from Magic's history? What is this deck called? Historic? Oh wait. Oh, huh. Whoops. Like, come on. Just like Magic boomers yelling at the sky, very upset that things are different. And like, to articulate why it's such a lazy, bad take, there are so many toxic people that think that anytime Wizards misses, that it's a huge issue and that it's a mistake. It's a mistake that they missed and they shouldn't have missed to begin with. And in my opinion, if Wizards isn't banning things on occasion, they're not doing their job right. Part of innovating and being successful is failure. If you're not failing sometimes, you're not really trying to do something new and interesting. And it's okay to like shoot your shot and miss. You just fix it after, right? And you don't go nuclear when you fix it. You get rid of the things that are the actual problem and let people enjoy the rest of it. Yeah, the right thing to look at is whether or not the process was good, not just the outcome. Is so incredibly true. Sand's fine. Doesn't have a Shifting Ceratops in it, but Llanowar Elf into Cultivate's definitely a keep. I mean, it's not even just about, I think the people that are like failure on occasion is bad for the investors, I think even that opinion's pretty short-sighted. Like, failure on occasion is fine for the investors because it means like they're probably going to have more success in the long term. Like, do you want to just, like, run grizzly bears into 1/3s and, like, cast combat tricks? Like, I guess, maybe if that's what you're into. And, like, from a this opinion is lazy and short-sighted, it's definitely easier to get rid of all the archives than to be like, this one's probably too good, let's get rid of that. These ones are fine, etc. Like, that takes nuance, and it takes details, and it takes work. And just being like, nah, fuck it, nuke all of them, that's easy, right? It's this is a quick fix, and we don't care about the rest of it. You want to run grizzly bears into 1/3s, Jumpstart is here for you. God bless. I assume we're gonna get, like, Brazen Borrowered into last week here. Yeah, believe it or not, they're currently banned in this channel. The person that's over there being mad. Usually that's the case. When you find someone salty in another channel, there's a high probability that they're banned here. I think we're probably dead at this point. I know we had our double Shifting Ceratops game 1, but outside of Shifting Ceratops, our deck's pretty bad in this matchup. We have a lot of really expensive plays, they have a lot of really efficient counter spells. I don't understand your question about ranked historic. Thanks for the follows, Rocco and Neville. Unranked historic. Unranked historic exists, right? Does it not? Oh, did they get rid of unranked historic? Weird. Oh, no. Hey, like... It's weird to me. You could do it, but it's best of one. It's weird to me that people, like, why don't you just play ranked? There's no cost to it. Like, unless you're, like, sitting on a rank. Like, the fact that unranked needs to exist in general is weird. I get that there might, like... Forcing people to play ranked would probably help them get around the psychological issues with it. Like sure, you're bad, but like I play all bad decks, right? Your rank is meaningless, chat. It doesn't matter. If you're rank 1 on the ladder at the end of the season, you get 5 fucking booster packs, just like the person who's rank 1,000,000 in Mythic. You get $5 worth of stuff. Sure, but in a way, and I know that there's a psychological aspect, and everybody handles this different, but like there's confronting that anxiety would be helpful for a lot of people, I think, especially when it's in such this low stake. It's like you couldn't make the stakes lower on the ladder if you tried. I guess you could have literal nothing, but like, man, it's basically nothing. Yeah, it's like the other day when someone commented they don't like playing games with their kids because their kids are bad losers. It's like, no, if your kids are bad losers, then you definitely need to play games with them. They need to get over being bad losers. Lavastras, Jabaz, and honestly, like, learning to lose and not care about losing will make you enjoy games a lot more. Allowing yourself to see your number go down and learn that it's not a big deal is the best way to get this. Our deck is never beating auras. I'm gonna concede the match. Azur, thanks for the prime, and Beefcakes and Japan, thanks for the follow. Why would I bottom the Emeria's Call rather than the Plains? Because my first like 7 lands I'm putting into play. It's tough to play your bad jank in ranked, though. I don't know. Like, I frequently see posts of people complaining about the unranked queue having a ton of real decks in it, too. Man, our openers have not looked good with this deck so far. All right, this one's not terrible. We can bottom a Nissa. The standard unranked queue is littered with Tybalt's trickery. Yep. I don't know, and everybody's anecdotal experience is gonna be different, obviously. Give me a tour, Uncle Jeff Rappner. Thank you for the 48 months. Welcome back. Some Marduki humans. Value here, putting our rampant turn behind. Sad. Let's see if we can live to get to this Elesh Norn, huh? Morning, Theron. Well, at least they can't take Beanstalk Giant. So long, Nissa, though. Psychedelic Cheeseburgers, thanks for the prime. There's a ton of great people making a ton of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. I appreciate the Bezo bucks. I think that Historic will replace Modern as the go-to tournament. I think takes like that show a fundamental misunderstanding of how Magic works at a core level. And this is something, and it causes like this really toxic tribalism between different format players. There's no reason Modern needs to be replaced in order for Historic to be successful. Magic isn't one game. Magic is a rules engine that powers a ton of different sub-games inside of itself, and these sub-games are all the different formats that we enjoy. And one of the things that makes Magic one of the greatest card games out there is the huge depth and range of play modes that it has. There are tons of Magic players. There's no need to say one format needs to fail in order for another to be successful. Alright, we're technically not dead on board, right? I can block this. We block a 2, and then we don't quite die. So one of the toughest things, if I attack and they trade, do I die? No, right? Because I'm taking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so we'll attack with this. One of the toughest things about Magic is that when you initially start, it's hard to figure out. It's hard to figure out where you went wrong in your matches because you don't really know what you didn't know, and it can be hard to pinpoint what caused your loss. The Bitcoin wallet I can send money to you buy, there is not. It is very difficult to turn Bitcoin into groceries, and I also have some moral objections to Bitcoin as a currency, so I don't engage with it. Welcome back, Max.
Enough. Forgive me.
Yeah, I think we're dead, Chip. Thinking, I guess we can block the bodyguard, and then we could draw a Baneslayer next turn, right? So we're not dead on board. We're not dead on board, and then we have Spouts. So let's see if we can draw one of them. Our opponent is no longer clueless. The people asking why we're so high up in Mythic, it's still very early in the season. We have the Mythic super early. It's not even barely a week into the month. All right, so Baneslayer in, some Deccan Stones in. Honestly, so one of the better ways, people asking for ways to improve and figure out how to get less frustrated, even if you're not streaming or making content, install OBS or some other screen recording software on your computer and start recording some of your matches and go back and rewatch them and try and figure out mistakes that you made during the match. It can be very difficult reflecting back on remembering exactly what happened in a game that you played, but having actual footage to go back over is a good way to be able to call out, oh, I should have done this because of these things, etc. To be fair, Magic Online has had a replay function for forever, and it rarely works fully, so. Hey, Koi Cricket, thanks for sticking on. I appreciate the support. Welcome back. Yeah, honestly, Cenotaph, that's very true. People often compliment my content in terms of, Jeff, you're really good at explaining why you're doing what you're doing. But me talking through the choices that I'm making is just me vocalizing the decision trees that I tend to go through in my mind that walk through why plays could be good or bad. And you could sit there and talk to yourself or talk through it or think through it and say, if I do this, then this could happen. How likely is that to happen, etc. Like here, for example, no real reason to deck and stone this one. I'll save this for a bigger threat. It means we don't get to use our resources for the turn. That's probably not too big of a deal. Especially with the Temple Garden here. This is eventually going to get to untap on the Nissa turn and make 2 mana. Daily $1 short on the Cultivate. Definitely want to play the Ceratops here so we can put some board presence out here. Yeah, it's very similar to chess and other strategy games, where you're just not 100% certain what pieces you're necessarily playing around. I don't think either of these are worth decking the halls with, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and make this one a 3/3 and attack here for now. Morning, Fogging Panda. Yeah, I think the Vodrak turn deck is great. I'd love to play it again. I think that list is super reasonable. There's a lot of good tools. I'm doing Modern tomorrow morning, but if you donated today or tomorrow, I could get it in Thursday or Friday, I believe. Based on what's currently in the queue. Alright, let's just like knock the top of our deck here and hope to peel an Elesh Norn. I did! It's neat, Gengar. I don't know, I just... Standard is largely about the number of decks you play against, too, as opposed to just, like, the things you could play. Like, I've played against enough Sultai Ultimatum to last a lifetime, I feel like. If I chump this, Nissa lives. That's the play. This is indestructible from general. So kind of getting punished a little bit for... Kind of getting punished for not killing the Enforcer earlier. Hey, Rob, thanks for 11 months. Welcome back. I think I do need to deck this now.
The land shall conquer you.
Got a few blockers now here too, which makes the calculus on how they can kill Nissa a little bit harder for them. They attack with just Taijik here. We'll jump with the Arboreal Grazer. Remember, this has an activated ability, so they give it first strike if I blocked with the 3/3. It's like waiting on a Baneslayer Angel or a Schnorn. Or a land. I think a land's pretty good. Narrator. It wasn't very good. They are also down to 8 here. So, like, they've spent some resources trying to take this off the table, and she's been generating advantage here. So they have to manage to not die here as well. Getting to kill the giant killer there seems decent for us. So, as someone who enjoys being a Twitch streamer as his job, I think the idea of letting random people I'm not familiar with be on my live content is not a good idea. And my YouTube channel doesn't generate enough traffic to be worthwhile producing long form content for. Like the direct to YouTube segments I do now, like the top 5 stuff is pretty short and low effort. But higher effort YouTube stuff isn't really worthwhile. Oh, Enforcer makes a token here. Well, we're flooding real bad, but Nissa might be able to carry this game on her back. I mean, I'm glad you feel great about it as Zintoth, but... And in general, people like that are generally better off ignoring them. It's 2021 on the internet. Facts don't matter. I've talked about this before, but in my earlier days when I hated myself more and knew less about the internet, and I was still dumb enough to post on Reddit with some consistency, is when people would post bullshit about me on Reddit, I had a burner account that I would respond to their objective lies with comments like, "Oh man, that sounds really awful. I just started subbing to Jeff, and if he does that, I don't want to support him anymore. Can you show me a link where he does that from his stream?" And just like every time, like clockwork, just fucking crickets afterwards. Never a link, always just more vague nonsense. And it would always get me right. They're like, "Jeff always does this thing, and this thing is terrible." And it's like, well, I'm on stream, I'm like live on the internet, you know, many hours per week. So if I like actually always do something, there should be a lot of examples for you to easily reference. But no, it's just like 900 times out of 10, it's just some salty nerd that's upset that they got banned or timed out at one point and their feelings were hurt because they got banned or timed out. Well, that's not quite lethal, so we'll take the hit and hope to draw an Elesh Norn. Even if we draw Elesh, we're dead, right? Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, because this wouldn't die, right? Another Nissa. Yeah, Nissa would have been lethal there. It's a good catch. Or one of our haste creatures. I think I had a Ceratops left in my deck. Alright, so far our green-white ramp brew is feeling less successful than the Naya tokens deck. The Naya Arcanist deck. Yeah, exactly. The Naya Magecraft deck just like steamrolled this morning. I can give you actual metrics because Untapped has metrics. How many matches did we win with Naya? The Naya deck went 7-1 and took us from like Diamond 3 or Diamond 2 to Mythic. And I believe the loss was I clicked wrong and conceded, if I recall correctly. I don't know. The record doesn't matter. The deck felt reasonable. It was good and proactive. It is at fault for taking us to Mythic early. Oh look, my angels decided to show up, chat. You know, I said exclamation point decks in chat to get a full link to all my deck lists. That works even when I'm offline as well. And of course, the Naya deck will be up on YouTube this evening if you want to watch the gameplay. There. Listen, chat, peace was never an option for this Grazer. Hey, sweet, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Dev. Yeah, Retribution's a sick card. It was a 9 deck. We played Naya Magecraft this morning, was the first deck. It felt kind of sweet. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing exactly over here. It's like they must not be Niv Mizzet playing these cards, right? I'm gonna not deploy Lyra because it feels like there's a good chance they could have sweepers. I mean, to be fair, I haven't really drawn or cast Elesh Norn, and like in the last match that we just lost, Elesh Norn would have been absurd at any point. Turn on, Blevins. Historic's been pretty good. I'm interested to see how Wizards continues to manage this format. So we definitely had a Tainted Pack that was too strong, and Wizards responded to remove that from the format when it was an issue. Honestly, in record time for them, it was really refreshing. And this will come as a surprise to you, I'm sure. If I recall when we chatted, you've played Legacy. I think there's a chance Brainstorm probably ended up too good for this format. So I'm interested to see what their response time looks like if they feel the same, etc., there. To be fair, I don't think it was fair to say it should have been abundantly obvious that Brainstorm was going to be too good. But it has had a chance, and I think it's probably overshot. Yeah, there's Fabled Passage, which is a really slow fetch land. Yeah, and a lot of people are still learning how to Brainstorm, and it's putting good numbers. So I'm glad they gave it a shot, but I think it's probably one that still don't really know what this opponent is doing. Yeah, you get one extra booster pack at the end of the season for each rank you achieve, I believe. Up to 5 at Mythic. You're having issues exporting from Untapped, really? Copy to MTGA. No, it looks fine here. I just used the copy button and pasted it into a text file here, and it looks like it's appropriate. Okay, so I think I Vital Force and then used her to pick back up the other Nissa.
Nature brings restoration.
Psychedelic Cheeseburger, I have the perfect video for you. You should check out my, I think it was 2 or 3 top 5s ago. I talked through what I think are all of the best things to be purchasing an historic or crafting from.
Rise, my elemental friend.
Rise, my elemental friend. Should Carnage Tyrant be banned? Asking the real questions. Oh. Emerge. Very fair Emergent Ultimatum. We had a new Historic Anthology plugins. They gave us a bunch of sweet cards. We got all of the Praetors.
New job, new life. This is my favorite part. Watch
We got a bunch of bangers. Terran Terror, thank you for the tier 3 and for the 43 months. Welcome back. LFA Grande, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Good morning, good morning. They're not quite dead here, right? Because the Gargaroth draws a card. Or the Gargaroth gains 3. They're pretty close though. It had Death Touch for people that are wondering. Why I didn't block their thing. Binding chapter, the flavor text on binding.
Whatever. I have more important things to do.
Yeah, the Emergent Ultimatum, especially in Standard, it's a little bit too slow for Historic a lot of the time. It's a card that I would describe as giving you the illusion of choice. You technically get to choose which cards you're giving your opponent, but any combination of the 3 generally kills you. Although this opponent looks to be playing something that's more fair. Actual best draw on the deck.
Protect the virtue of this world. Be wary of the ground you walk on.
Nissa can shake my world anytime she wants to, champ. Hasty 3/3s. Let's go. I don't think I keep 7s without one of our 8 1-mana accelerants or an Explorer. This is fine. I really hope we draw an untapped land here so I can go Elf into Cultivate, but definitely not mulliganing here. Oh, is this the Auras person again that I conceded to earlier? No, green white. Ooh, could be. Looks like Bantorez. Yeah, I think from a content perspective, I punted by hitting Mythic. The range of opponents we're gonna get now is gonna be kind of blah for the next week or so. Although taking a day off of Arena to do Magic Online tomorrow should let more people enter into it, which is good. Morning prop. For the Magic boomers out there, we're playing Modern tomorrow. For the Magic Zoomers, this is your warning that you might want to watch something else tomorrow.
Behold, nature's true power.
Yeah, low Mythic later in the month is fine. It's just hitting Mythic this early, there just aren't a lot of other people in Mythic. No, I'll be here watching you play Moto with my arms crossed.
I must seek comfort in the land.
Yes, I should make a point to find some royalty-free music to play underneath Moto tomorrow, since Moto doesn't have background music. It's a good point. Yeah, Riot has a whole creator-safe playlist. Maybe we'll just throw that on shuffle. Yeah, there's a few different services that have creator-safe playlists. You should put the title screen of Until Dawn in the background, because Moto is also a horror game. Oh, that's great. Speaking of, we should finish Until Dawn this afternoon. We're about 5 hours in, and it's about 7 to 8. Alright, one Elesh Norn, please. Hey, that'll do, pig. Yeah, that creator was an idiot, Archivist. They literally sent out emails when they announced that service detailing that it couldn't be used for VODs. I have pretty little sympathy for creators and people that get screwed for, like, not following instructions or, like, not reading things they should be reading. Oh, this is smart. They sacrifice, they get to gain 3 now. Gargaroth having trample might drag us kicking and screaming here. Of course, if they hit even a single enchantment next turn, we're gonna get got. They did just bottom twice though, so, you know, saying there's a chance. One Elesh Norn, please. They missed a block here. Oh. This lets them get a thing in the bin guaranteed. It's pretty good. So we're gonna get to draw 3 cards with this Cenobite next turn. Yeah, it's on YouTube, Chris. If you go to the front page of my YouTube and scroll down, there's a list of playlists. It's underneath the top 5 in the Meta Monday things. You'll see it's got like Until Dawn and the other variety games I've done recently that I'm now drawing a blank on. No, that is how Magic works, that Grazer can only put in the front sides. It's just like Grazer can't put double face lands into play either. Oh yeah, Bioshock was the other one we did recently. Tsushima. Yeah, duh, Ghost. I'm not dead yet. Elesh is still lethal, chat. Elesh is still lethal. We've had such typical ramp deck problems this set. It's been really sad. Ceratops doesn't do a whole lot here. So, Abundant Harvest isn't very good in decks that play spells that make mana, because you are frequently going to cast Abundant Harvest in a deck like this and choose spell and get a Llanowar Elf or a Cultivate or you know, cards like those that aren't actually really spells. I mean, I wouldn't be drawing them, James. Like I've got I think four bolt lands in the deck. Like, yeah, I've got 4 Emeria's Call. Like, my deck only has 23 actual lands in it. I don't know that I can afford to play like 8 bolt lands. I think we've gotten a little bit unlucky this set, but I also don't think our deck's very good, so like, you don't have a lot of room to be unlucky when your deck's bad. Maybe we should try like 8 bolt lands. We have so much mana from other things. The problem with the bolt lands is like Arboreal Grazer can't put them into play. It's part of the issue. Maybe we play fewer Grazers. Explore can put bolt lands into play. Maybe we try 8 bolt lands and go to 2 Grazers, 4 Explorers. I can see that being correct. Maybe we'll try that after this. Not quite as good against aggro, but still good cheap acceleration. Well, to be fair, card stock better than Magic the Gathering's like an incredibly low bar, right? Yeah, I want to do this first. Because when I cast this will get indestructible, so we'll get to draw cards with it. They're playing Trample Enchantments and the Season's Growth. Is that it? The 2-mana one that draws a card when they target things? I feel like I would be really surprised if the opponent's archetype was better than black-white enchantments, because their deck is basically a more linear version, just looking to race people, but it's probably not fast enough to race Philocomus, right? And like, that's the litmus test you have to pass. Like, how often are they goldfishing a turn 4 kill? If you're not being interactive in this format, I think you need to be killing on turn 3 occasionally and consistently killing by 4. If you're not doing that, you need to be at least a bit interactive. Well, they don't have attacks this turn because Gargaroth and Grazer are indestructible. From our Emeria's call. And then maybe we can kill them in the air with our angel friends. Maybe. And this attack is bad because this draws a card. Yes, this attack is real loose. Maybe they forgot that my things are indestructible. Do I just make a 3/3 here? Yeah. An industrial waste. A username for the 21st century. Well, if we draw a land in our first 2 draw steps, we get to Grazer into Cultivate. So, like, we called the land, so what's our next best draw? Like an Elesh Norn or a Gargaroth or some other powerful 5 for turn 3? We do finally have an Elesh Norn, chat. It's nice to have her in an opener that's good. Oh, you know what? I should fetch up a 3rd white there in case we draw... what's it called? In case we draw the white bolt land. Yeah, Emeria's call. I think we're gonna deck the halls with Bowels of Adanto Vanguard here in a moment. Peace was never an option, chat. I'm gonna hold on to this. In case we draw a land next turn. It doesn't mean I have to bolt myself, but hopefully the fact that Elesh Norn is going to be coming out to play means I can afford to bolt myself and still win. Milady. I love the very visceral screech when she comes into play. Like, peace was never an option, chat. Flower Flourish does not do the same thing as Dorks. Flower Flourish is like lay land. It helps you hit a land drop. It doesn't help you do things ahead of curve. Valorous stance. They're coming for our memes, chat. And hopefully the second copy of Milady here. All right, let's try some more Bolt lands and some more yes, that is a Tarkir card that was introduced to Historic via Jumpstart. Alright, more Explorers, less Grazers, more Bolt lands. Yeah, the Jumpstart mode is sweet. I really wish they'd leave. What is Jumpstart? So Jumpstart is a more casual game mode where you pick two different like tribes or cards that have synergy together, and you kind of smush them together into a deck and then play against other people who have smushed two tribes together into a deck. But more importantly, because those came to Arena, most all of the cards that were in them are historic legal. So they added new cards to this format. It's a great intro tool, yeah. Stan, thanks for the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back. Good to have you around. Milady. Yeah, it's a really sweet game mode. I wish they'd leave it always on. They brought it back. They turned it off for a little bit, but it recently came back for a limited time. This is 5, 6, so next turn I get to Elesh Norn if I do this. Concession Norn, chat? Concession Norn? You got it. Collected company resolves. Just taking a little info on the way out the door. Taking a little info on the way out the door. So Baneslayer is good here. Declaration and Stone is good here. Shifting Ceratops is not good here. Cheeky Kaku's Death could be fine. Honestly, maybe we just board in Reidane. Reidane blocks their elite spellbinders and makes their companies cost more mana. I think I'm into that. Yeah, Call's been really sweet for sure. Very, very castable in our ramp deck. Yeah, more Bolt lands might be the answer, because Turntimber helps us find Elesh more consistently, too. We should have conceded to hide our hand to have a game 2 edge. That's a big brain play. Old 5 head. This hand's really bad against turn 2 Thalia, but we're decent otherwise, so we're gonna keep it. This call is gonna be a land this game. They have a Llanowar Elves on the play. Yikes. Alright, so we're gonna lose Explore now, I assume.
I am in need.
Oh. Really? Well, that was an incredible draw. Nice! We're gonna have turn 3 Baneslayer now. Baneslayer is a tough nut for their deck to crack because their removal is usually Skyclave Apparition. Obviously, they could have something like Dromcom here, but... Ooh, do I do this now? Is this the play now? That's close. I think this is better. Yep. Yikes. Well, that's gonna outsize my Baneslayer Angel. At the chump block? Alright, we draw untapped land next turn. We get to Elesh Norn. Yeah, a little too much pressure. I mean, they had Llanowar Elves on the plate. The removal spell did it, right? If they hadn't had the Decade Stone, the disruption to go with their pressure was huge there. Silence Beck, I appreciate you being here. Good morning, fish. How do you feel about the Protector's Shield in this matchup? I think I'm into it. I'm into it. Let me use my mana this turn, too. Smoke if you got him, chat. Yeah, they could have targeted the shield there. Alright, they found the line. My lady. Sweet card. we kept at it. I definitely feel like we ran pretty cold our first couple of matches. It feels good to get to drop my Praetor into play. Elesh Norns and Angels and Gargoths, oh my. This is fine, right? We go Grazer off of Turntimber, put Forest into play this on white, Cultivate. We have turn 3 Nissa. Blue mana. Where is again? There's too many tryhards in the numbers, chat. Yes, the new Monkey Pirate is ridiculously expensive. Your money's on the sloth, something like that. Any advice on how you reconcile games that you lost because you sideboarded wrong or misclicked on a card or lost because of those mistakes? I mean, like I said, it's really easy for me to take losses on the ladder in stride because the ladder just like isn't meaningful in terms of the actual results. Like I could win 100% of my matches on the Magic Arena ladder for the remainder of this month, and the prizes I would get at the end of it are identical to losing every single match for the rest of the month. So like, when you look at it with that perspective, it's very easy to be like, yeah, whatever. And I mean, and even if you're like Platinum or Diamond and you're struggling to rank up, like, the difference is $2. Like, the difference between Platinum and Mythic is $2 worth of booster packs.
The land will not forsake you.
This thing doesn't even get to make mana. That's so sad. Mr. Lil Gum, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. It's garbage pricing. Maybe the real prizes were the friends you made along the way. Well, part of the reason why we're seeing so many Auras decks is because I hit Mythic early. I bet if you go back and look, a bunch of the Auras decks that we played against are all the same people. Like I said, if anything, people talking about winning versus losing, I punted by winning too much this morning with the Naya Magecraft deck. The content's probably gonna have a little bit less variety for the next half a week or so, while more people make their way up into Mythic. I want like another deck and stone on the board. I keep like boarding in this questing beast in these creature matchups. I'd much rather have another piece of removal, I think. So sideboard's at least one card wrong. Everyone's playing the championship decks. Have we played against Jeskai Control, Jeskai Turns, or Phoenix at all today? I don't think I've had a single Time Warp or Arc Light cast today in 3 hours of Historic so far. They're all in platinum. That's true. Could still be down there tryharding. Correct, Bob. Magic's very much a luxury hobby. All right, I'll make a couple of small changes here. No play one more before we move on to our third deck of the day. Look at that rank. Elesh is happy with that number. Want a little interaction in my main deck. I wonder if I want this many Beanstalk Giants. It felt a little bit clunky. I have... This is 14 pieces of ramp. I have 17 ramp at the moment. I could play another payoff. Just like put an angel in here. Another angel in here. I can put the fourth deck and stone on the board. Let's do that. I don't think I want to start removal in the main. I think I want to be as proactive as possible at game one, but boarding into a bunch of removal sounds fine. Like cards like Lyra and Baneslayer Angel are like cards that are good against decks that you want removal against a lot of the time, while also being a little bit proactive. Oh, chat, I have a question for the old timers in chat. For the Kiki Core deck we're going to play tomorrow, should I make sure to include a copy or two of Wall of Root so we can find out if it's still bugged after over 5 years? For old time's sake, I feel like we're obligated to find out if it's still bugged, right? No, it's bugged for sure. Chat, they broke it in January of 2016. They broke it. Why wouldn't it be fixed? It was bugged in January of 2016. Ooh, if I include a copy and it's still bugged, I can file for compensation and get my league for free. That's the big brain play. It's a plus $10 EV to include a Wall of Roots in the deck. They might ban me though. I haven't filed for Moto comp in a long time. I actually need to find out if I need to put money into Moto. I don't remember if I left tickets there. Oh, it is Mistman again. Are they missing their green or are they just playing mono this time? Also, let's be honest, chat. If they banned me from Magic Online for filing for compensation, would they really be hurting me or would they be secretly doing me a favor? I will have you know, chat, the one time I got locked out of my Magic the Gathering Online account and I had to call Wizards customer support, when the person who pulled up my account saw my username, they told me they liked my content. I won't disclose that employee's name because I don't want to get them in trouble, but that was nice to hear. Tick-tock goes the Shifting Ceratops clock, chat. Milady, I assume we're just, like, not resolving another spell for the rest of this game. But that's fine, because this is hopefully going to kill them. I don't know if this is the same deck we played against Mistman on earlier, but they're missing green now, or if it's a different deck, and it's just the Mystic Sanctuary and all the basic islands makes me think it's a different deck. All right, sorry, Elesh, we gotta drag the curve down here. Thanks for the follow, Parkler. Shifty Boy is good. Removal spells sound good. Beanstalk Giant slow. Yeah, I want 4 more Ceratops. Maybe one of these questing beasts should be a what's it called? We should swap it to a Carnage Tyrant. I almost had a Carnage Tyrant, but I think Questing Beast is better against just guy control, but it's definitely much worse against these mono counter spell decks. Play this as a land when I hit like our first 6 to 7 land drops, so. I'm playing Ramp featuring Chandra Torch, Shifting Ceratops, Carnage Tyrant, Big Chandra. Bless. God bless us, everyone. Afternoon, Mellow Man. I'm waiting to put this land into play because they could have an Aether Ghost. I'll do it again, I swear. Well, and honestly, too, full effect. I talked about this in the Meta Monday breakdown yesterday too. Is by the metrics, Phoenix is much worse against random decks than Jeskai Control is. Like, Jeskai Control and Jund Food are like brew killers, and Phoenix is like a deck that like has only an okay win rate against random brews. Titan Smash! Thanks for the 2/3 of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I'm just gonna keep playing spells, you know, just like make him keep needing to do stuff. Whoa! Ashiok's Erasure. When you've got the anti-shifting Ceratops technology, but you get to it too late. Lordy. Who hurt you? Oh wait, we did. Apologies. Well, Aether Gust can't target this while it's in play, so I'm like trying to think what out they could have here. Do they have like an artifact that can block? This only gets Aether Gusted on the stack. Oh, Time Warp gets us. Okay. Yeah, that's a good call. Time Warp. Ooh. I assume based on this tank, this is them looking at their deck trying to find it out. Oh, commence the endgame token can block. It's a good call. Yep, that one doesn't do it. Shifty boy up in your base. Throwing rocks and punching face. Dumb Dino 1, Mono Blue 0. Alright, listen, champ. If I was gonna play this deck again, I would put a Carnage Tyrant in the sideboard because we queued Nimbusman twice, and they're playing just like all these counterspell decks, but we're gonna move on to the next one for the day. What was that? Were you stimulated and engaged by that match of Magic, chat? I think it was stimulating. At any rate, we had some rough beats to start, but where we ended up at seems kind of okay. You know, we kind of pulled some of our lower quality cards, went up some more utility lands. We added some more removal to the sideboard. Elesh Norn was wonderful with her otherworldly Screech on many a time, so looking for to ramp up into her. This felt like kind of an okay shelf for doing it. Probably some other min-maxing optimize that you could do, but there could be something here for sure. Tied to Crims, thanks for the 24 months. I appreciate the 2 years. Welcome back.